Hey guys, what's up? Blind Toes here. Hey, back again for another interview. And yes, did it take a while for this one? Yes, it did. But hey, both of us probably had a lot of things to do in between. But hey, it's gonna be a fun interview. And sorry for being a little bit late and had to push back the time just a tiny bit. But I had to be accommodating nowadays because you have to. Because if not, then you won't get nice guests like I have. He is a accessibility consultant. He's a content creator both on YouTube and Twitch, and he is also in a band. And hey, we'll probably get to that too. I got Mr. Rattlehead.
Yo, what is up, everyone? I'm Rattlehead. Of course, I don't mind sharing my real name because I'm part of the consulting process. My name is Carlos. I go by Rattlehead on pretty much all of the platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and all that stuff. But yeah, glad to be here, man. I know you've been getting a lot of people from the community to kind of talk about their experience and or even outside the community too, like just other people in general. So I think it's cool, man. Like trying to give everybody their time to kind of share what it's like for them to be doing what we do in the gaming scene, right? For a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us, it's
Mm-hmm.
like our biggest thing nowadays with all these games that you just want more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
taste of it. It's like, man, I want
Mhm.
more. Like more games, more accessibility. So yeah. But nah, man,
No,
thanks for having me, bro.
no problem. Yeah, because like truthfully, I because like once I started with this interview series, it kind of grew and grew, and then like I started liking it. Doing it, and it's actually pretty fun for me too, because it also helps me work on like my talking too.
Actually, that's a good point, dude. Because one of the
Yeah.
things that I struggled with for a long time was
Yeah.
just talking, dude. Like
Yeah.
first of all, in growing up, I was just terrible at socializing anyway. And even just maintaining a conversation, even if like those tedious conversations when you first meet somebody,
Yeah.
that like the the first awkward moments, like
Yeah.
it was even worse before. But nowadays it's more like the more you do it. And I think what helped me out too is like you mentioned, being in a band, because I am the guy that kind of gets the crowd pumping and everything too. And streaming, I think streaming does help too, because you're talking to an audience, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
just like an audience of three or four or five, but you're still talking to people. And so that kind of builds your confidence, to the point where you start doing presentations now, right? You give,
Mm-hmm.
conferences or whatever. It's much easier now. Even just talking to
Yeah.
people, like say you're at a panel or something too. So that actually
Yeah.
has helped me in real life, where now, in my job, I'm in charge of sometimes presenting our our stuff, our the things that we do, blah blah blah. When I do a lot, because we do a lot of networking, so obviously that requires
Mm-hmm.
a lot of talking, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just doing fun things like gaming and music and all that, I feel like it's actually helped me, like in a real life situation, which is something where I actually get paid for. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, a lot
Yeah.
of
Because
practice,
like
right?
yeah. Plus, man, because like for me as a kid, like I had a stuttering problem, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like as a kid, I stuttered a lot, so that's why I like had to go to, because like it was like in elementary, then through like middle school and probably high school too, because like had to go to like the speech classes, just for like the like to help with like the stuttering.
Oh man, I mean that's cool though, because like
Yeah,
I feel like I stutter too, but when I'm nervous, right? Like if
yeah, yeah,
I did that on purpose, by the way. Like if I start stuttering, uh, then it's like either I'm nervous or whatever. So
yeah.
I'm an emotional guy. I don't mind admitting that. Like things
Mm-hmm.
do affect me, like
Mm-hmm.
big time. Like if I'm nervous, people can kind of tell, or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm hype as well. People make fun of me for that when I get too hype, but it's funny. It's all in good in good terms and stuff. Um so yeah, I just tend to show a lot. Like I'm pretty like intense sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
dude, when I'm hype. It's like something
Oh no,
big
yeah,
happen, like
yeah,
yo, like it's I get all into it.
yeah,
Oh, if I'm nervous, you also can tell, kind of thing. So it happens, man. But we learn. That's how
yeah.
we.
Oh, real quick, hey, Princess J, Audrey in the chat. Roll, hey, how are you? Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. And what? Yeah. So like, were you blind, throughout your life, or did you become blind, or more of like the low vision?
So I actually experienced a lot of it, a lot of all of it throughout the years, basically. So I actually had
Mm-hmm.
vision in the past. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually, so I was born blind, but they waited
Mm-hmm.
7 to 8 months to have a surgery. This is
Mm-hmm.
according to my parents, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it went down like that or not, but
Uh-huh.
um, 7 months, 7, 8 months, I got a surgery. They
Mm-hmm.
removed, they found cataracts on me,
Oh.
when I was born.
Yeah.
Um, but the problem was that they also found glaucoma, but I was too young to start going through the process at the time. Um, and so they said to wait for until I was 4 to come back and do something.
Ooh.
But the thing about it is that so I'm not originally from the U.S. I'm originally from Guatemala. The
Mm-hmm.
country right underneath Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, I grew up in a very isolated town, very poor
Mm-hmm.
environment. So
Mm-hmm.
my parents couldn't afford a surgery.
Mm-hmm.
When I reached 4 years old. So that never happened in time. I guess there was supposed to be some kind of timeline or something, but it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taken back. And this kind of I remember a little bit. I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when they did a bunch of tests on me, and basically they said, "Hey, look, the disease just gotten worse. All we can do now is maintain that vision that he has right now." You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so surgeries weren't going to do me any good according to them. And so I didn't have them. One, because we couldn't afford it. Two, they just gave us the medications to kind of keep the glaucoma like at bay or whatever. So
Uh-huh.
I
Or like
I
in check,
in
so you.
check, yeah, basically. So I mean, I had vision
Mm-hmm.
for pretty much until like I was 10. When I was 10, yes, when it's you can start I started noticing like a change in my vision here and there. But before
Dang.
then, though, that's when I started, because I did start getting surgeries like around 7 or 8 years old, and they
Whew,
were
that
doing
young.
pretty good. They
Sheesh.
were doing pretty good at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But turns out, and this I learned this as an adult, actually. Turns out the hospital that I was going to, they had a reputation of conducting experiments without letting people know about it. Yeah, dude.
What? That's
So
crazy.
when I came to because then when that happened, and then by 10 years old, I noticed a decline in my vision or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I got kicked out of like your basic education. Like I got kicked out of the school, my soccer
Mm-hmm.
team, everything, because I played soccer too. I was
Yeah.
and so I got kicked out of all of those basic things. And then then I was able to come here to the U.S. thanks to my mom, who was already here in the U.S. at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought me in, and and then when I went to the doctor here, the first thing they said is like, "Dude, your eyes are damaged. Like something's physically going on here. What happened? What Are we able to get any medical records?" And so when they try to get those medical records, we never get in contact with those doctors from Guatemala anymore. You know, so
Man,
yeah, dude, it's very fishy,
some like,
right? Very sus,
yeah,
right? Yeah, no, so
dude.
so then they and that's one thing I appreciated coming here, because where I grew up,
Mhm.
the culture is in the culture is where like they really don't pay attention
Mhm.
to the kids, right? Like
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
only adults know better. That's it. Like they don't pay attention to the kids.
No.
Where
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. Yeah.
here even like they do, like, for the most part, they listen to like the kids and stuff. And so I remember the doctor at the time, she was like, I want to talk to you. And so the interpreter at the time, because I didn't speak English back then, she was
Mhm.
basically just translating everything to me and says, "Hey, she wants to talk to you directly. She just want to talk to your mom, because she wants to like let you know what your situation is, and she wants you to understand it now.
Mhm.
In case your parents don't explain it to you. So I mean, she
No,
took that risk. She took that risk
like,
because parents could demand you.
no, that's a good doctor
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You
dude.
know.
And so she told me straight up. She's like, "Look, you're gonna go blind at some point in your life. So when you go to school," she goes, "do me a favor and learn everything that you can to be successful." And she's telling this to a
Mhm.
kid, dude. you know
Yeah.
so
Wow.
so I'm like, man, she's talking to me like seriously, like as if I understand her. And of course, that marked me for life, dude. Because I
Yeah.
was like, man, this grown person, an adult, is giving me this cool advice. She's like, don't give up. Do
Mm-hmm.
take take your education seriously. Here they will teach you how to be visually impaired, how to be blind, how to be even low vision at the time. There are things that can help you and everything. But if you
Mm-hmm.
do go blind, don't worry about it, because they're gonna they will teach you like the skills for the to adapt and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that and everything. And then finally, that's when they got my mom involved, and it's like, no, this is what we told him, because he needs to you as a parent should not overprotect this kid, because that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
damage him more. And unfortunately, she still did it. but
Well,
that
yeah,
but yeah,
because come on,
yeah,
like,
but that but
what
the
parent doesn't do that, you know?
well, apparently, yeah. Well, what good parent though? Let's specify
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, since
So so that was the thing, is and so that marked me for life, dude. Like, so even if I didn't want to do stuff,
hey, Buddha, how are you?
everybody's showing up.
Yep.
So when nobody was telling was no, what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. But um
The
well,
doctor
when I was
thing,
going through
yeah.
the education part of things,
Mm-hmm.
like, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you just want to do it because you're just a kid, right? Like, I want to go
Mm-hmm.
play. But I
Well,
always
yeah.
remember those ladies' words, dude, and that's what kept me going. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned all the skills, like the basics. For me, that's why, for me personally, like things like Braille, stuff like that. That's what got me through school. Because remember, growing at the time, my technology wasn't as good anyway.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
you had to,
cause yeah, like around the 90s, yeah, like Jaws was like still barely,
dude.
like
Yeah,
Jaws, like,
it was so bad,
was
dude.
it?
That was so bad.
Yeah, yeah, because like I grew up more of like the visually impaired, so I knew there was Jaws, like it was
Hmm.
so old, and then the Apple computers too. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, yeah, back then was so interesting, but then so did you have like more of like a grieving process like all of us usually do, or like did you just accepted it?
Nah, dude, I did. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
because I used to do so many things back then that
Mm-hmm.
that thankfully now there's things that replace them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some of them kept it going, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I used to love drawing, dude. Like when I used to watch Dragon Ball Z or
Yeah. Yeah.
Transformers or
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles, or you know what I mean?
Oh my
Like
gosh, the 80s
the
Ninja Turtles with the
80s and the 90s,
big
dude.
old,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
old belt buckles, man.
Yo, hell yeah, bro. So when I used to watch all of that, dude,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and even like the other, like Looney Tunes, all of those things, right? Like,
Hey, we
all
all
that.
did, man. We all did,
Hey,
dude. We all
so
did.
I used to and the thing is, I grew up again, like I grew up with black and white TV. So
Ooh.
the only time I would see colors is like, to like stickers or like trading
Mm-hmm.
cards or
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's what they look like. And so I used to love drawing, dude. Like I would spend time just drawing, characters. Basically, I just experienced copying characters. Like I never drew my own art,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I would just spend most of the time copying characters and stuff. And fun fact, actually, when I was a kid, and I used to actually, like, people
Hey,
used to tell
JP.
me, they were like, hey, can you draw this for me, and then I'll pay you like a buck, you know so
Yeah.
that way I would have my, like my ice cream money or my chips money, you know what I mean? Like, I
Hey,
used to do
hey,
that back in the
hey,
day,
hey,
dude.
hey, man.
Hustling
Back
back in
then
the day, bro. The
there was
hustle,
a
man.
lot of like a back school deals. Okay, elementary, middle school, and high school. Okay, there was always back deals. Okay.
Yeah, backdoor deals, man. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, hey,
So,
th-
but as far as the
that's
grieving,
how I got.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's how I got my Dreamcast, dude.
Oh, that,
Oh yes,
that's smart,
sorry.
dude. You gotta hustle sometimes, man, to get that. But you gotta do it like in a way that it's like it's fun.
Yeah, yeah,
I we used to have
yeah.
an app. We used to have an apple tree too in my house, and so, and you could see the apple tree like outside our house, because it was
Mhm,
huge, and people would
mhm.
stop by and, do you guys sell those? And so, all of my siblings thought, it's like, why don't we like take apples and sell them at school? And that's what we used to do, dude. I would take like my extra bag in my backpack, And then I'd
Yeah.
be like, hey, like those apples you see on that's my house. And they'd be like, oh, those are, hey, yo, like, give me one. How much you selling for? And so I had to come up with the price on the spot. It's like 50 cents, give me
Yeah.
50 cents, And they're like, oh, hell yeah, put 50 cents. Boom, boom, boom. And, next thing you know, it became like a thing with me. It was me and my other two siblings. Like, everybody took
Hmm.
and then we'll come back with like, yo, we got money, we got money for like, so it was cool, man. Like, we did that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
But to go back to your question about the grieving process, though, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah, yeah.
it was hard, man, because I
Hmm.
had to give up all these things, and like I told you, I was in the soccer team, like I was
Oh man,
when I was
man.
in the elementary school, because
Yeah,
I was already like when I moved to first grade, they put me already like in the school team, like to play against other schools and stuff, and
dude.
so and I played basically my first grade year. I got
Hmm.
to play, not official games until second grade, and that's when I started losing my vision. So
Hmm.
I got to play only one like official game, um, and then after that, like when once I started wearing glasses, the coach had to let me go because he's like, hey, I just don't want you to get hurt. And that's
Yeah.
another person too that marked me, that I still remember to this day, because he was nice, dude. Like he was very encouraging and everything. He
Hmm.
still wanted to. He kept me until I just couldn't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, you can't play official games anymore, but at least you can still come to practice and whatever. Because if you get hurt or whatever, I'm here. Like I take care of that, no problem. Whatever. But like
Hmm.
out in the field, like out in a real game, like that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So so I gave that up. And then the beginnings of where I am now sort of kind of started there anyway too, because I
Hmm.
remember I wanted
Hmm.
to be like in the school's marching band when I was like in second grade. I wanted to play the snare, but
Oh,
because my
oh, okay.
vision,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, because of my
Yeah.
vision, and remember I came from a country where like they did not do anything for people with disabilities. They just get, when things get out of hand, they just pretty much remove you from the system, and that's it. They could care less about
No,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Because like a couple of years ago, I was in like Vietnam, right? Just like
Hmm.
with like my grandma, and I
Yeah.
could tell literally the difference. Like how would they treat someone with like a disability too? So
Hmm.
yeah, so I do get it too. So yeah.
It's kind of similar to that, yeah. And so so I got dismissed. I got kicked out of school. Second grade, I got kicked out of
What?
school. Yeah,
Damn.
because I couldn't do. But get this though. Again, this is where you gotta give people credit sometimes, because my
Uh huh.
my elementary school teacher, the home teacher, she
Yeah.
wanted to keep me regardless, and she was like, we'll figure this
Oh
out,
dang.
whatever, and but the principal of the school was like, nah, we can't be dealing with this. And so
It's like liability. It's
yeah,
liability.
liability,
Mhm.
yeah, liability, and whatever, just so yeah. And it was one of those memorable things too, though, because at the time, by
Mhm.
then I already had friends. And so me
Uh
leaving
huh.
the class, like a lot of people like were like, man, that sucks. We're gonna, how kids are, man. They're more honest than
Yeah.
anybody. Like, we're gonna miss you, blah blah blah. Like us, it's cool things.
No, no, no.
Straight up,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what it was. So, but I left. My dad went to go pick me up on my last day. And that's it. Like, for like six
Hey, Blaze.
months. For 6 months, I was just at like at my house, not doing anything. And that's when like, but
Hey,
during
yeah.
that time though was when like I came to the U.S. and but that's a whole another story in itself. That
Yeah.
that, that experience. But I mean, that's once I got here. But um, while that was going on, you know, I discovered gaming in the arcades.
Oh,
And
like we all do, man.
yeah, we
We
all
all do.
did. Yeah, like back in the
For
days. So.
me, it was kind of different because like it was because like I was in California at the time, and like there was like the typical Asian coffee shops and had like
Hmm.
the arcades. But then even though I should have
A
gone in there, but
a
because yeah, but either way.
Yep. No, with us.
Yeah.
So with us, the way I discovered the arcades, because again, remember, like, I grew up in a small town, right?
Hmm.
And you know how every small town will always have some kind of, whether it's a fair or a carnival or some kind of fest or something, like they would do regardless, no matter, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so
Wait, so were you like here in like the US already, right?
No, no. So when I discovered like games in general, like even
Hmm.
like MK,
Mm-hmm.
was when every year in October they do this festival thing for like 4 days in our town. So
Uh-huh.
people from outside the islands, or like not islands, but
Mm-hmm.
like different like towns, like the surrounding towns,
Mm-hmm.
will come to our town to like sell things, products or whatever. But what's cool about that, it was that during that time they'll bring like games like rides, arcades,
Mm-hmm.
foosball, like hockey, tables, all that stuff, so that people can like like in our town could like spend their quarters in those games,
Yeah.
or their money like on the rides and stuff. But that
Mm-hmm.
was like a 4 year thing that happened every year in October. And so of course they would bring the arcades, and as a kid you just walk around in there, because remember a lot of us didn't have like supervision like with parents. Like I grew up without my parents anyway, so I
Mm-hmm.
could literally just go out of my house whenever I wanted to. My siblings, I would get in trouble with my older siblings, but you know how it is. Like
Yeah.
you don't care. And so
Nah, man.
I would go and just watch there, just stand there and just kind of look at the arcades, and then I saw like all the different ones, and everything. And of course, the thing that attract my attention visually, just like how MK just stood out like
Mm-hmm.
like amongst everybody else. Everything
Mm-hmm.
was so bright, like all these games and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
see this like cabinet that has this like cool image, with the logo and everything, and then like these
Yep.
two
The
like giant
logo.
ass characters on screen,
Yep.
going at it, like like,
Yeah.
but they look at the time they look realistic. Obviously that's
Yeah.
laughable now,
Yeah.
but at the time it's like, damn,
No.
look at that,
Come on, man.
badass,
Come on. The
dude.
arcade days was like, okay. The loudest one was either MK. Killer Instincts was probably
Killer
louder.
Instinct, yeah, music was
Yeah.
hella loud, dude.
Yeah. Then like Street Fighter. Then like you had the other multiple games like Tekken and everything else too. Besides that too. So yeah.
Yeah, it was just the arcade noise, dude. Like it was just like overwhelming, but in a good way. It's like, man, this is so cool. It's
Yeah,
like
it
it
was.
was,
Yeah, it is.
dude, it's so overwhelming. Because where I went, you had the arcade sounds, but also like the foosball sounds of people playing, and then like the hockey, tables too, like the pegs going back and forth. It was just
Mm-hmm.
all that noise, and just the crowded environment.
Yeah.
So that's how I discovered it. And then like I think 6 months after one particular festival that they had is when they opened a local arcade like in our town. Like they officially opened a local arcade. So me, I was there every day, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
was every day. And that's where the apples came into play. Like when I used to sell my apples on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
I had money to go to the
Mm-hmm.
arcades. And so then,
Oh.
yeah, that's how we did it. And but we also, what we used to do with my siblings, we also save, like, you put money that nobody could touch, like all of us combine our money, and then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we created our own allowances basically, because remember, we grew up with our, so we kind of figured this out on our own.
Yeah.
And that's how we
And
used to do it, like, and everything.
well, come on, man. Like
Yeah.
back in like the 80s, 90s, we really had a hustle, man, as kids, dude.
Yeah, dude. For you, a little bag of chips, you wanna like do so, do something, then get your money and then go buy it.
Yeah, chips, candies, sodas,
Candies,
whatever, man.
sodas, ice creams, like whatever, dude. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean
like
that's
Wes.
yeah. So I mean, so all of that stuff I had to let go. And then of course
Mm-hmm.
getting adjusted to a new country too, like a new culture.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
language barrier was huge for me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I'm not gonna lie, it was very lonely, dude. Like straight up.
Yeah. So,
Because you couldn't talk to anybody.
so how did it take you? How long did it take you like to learn like English? So were you in like the typical like the ESL classes?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, ESL classes and everything.
ah,
ESL combined with Braille, so I was learning all of it at the same time.
dude.
Yeah. So it took me. So what's cool about when I came to the US and entered the
Yeah.
education system, and I remember this very well because I actually skipped third and fourth grade, because when I did a lot of the math tests, I did a
What?
lot of the like the because they also had me write like a little short essay in Spanish just to kind
Mm-hmm.
of test my thinking skills or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They did all those tests and they were like, dude, you should not be like in third grade. We're gonna bump you up to like fifth grade already. The only thing that's gonna hurt you is like the language barrier right now. So you
Mm-hmm.
will be like in very basic language class, like English classes. But
Mm-hmm.
the rest, no, I was already like, I think by sixth grade, I was already starting to do basic algebra already.
Damn, bro.
But that's because in where in our country, the kids,
Yeah.
they learn math, like hardcore math, at an early age, dude. And the reason I say that, because with my nephew right now, this kid is like so advanced in math because he was already taking those courses when he was like barely like what, 8, 9, or
Shit.
Yeah, and so it's different because here like they start you very softly with the education, like it's again it's this whole topic, right? We don't want to get into
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Or
but
real quick, congrats, Cash. Wow.
ooh, oh, the event tonight, right?
Yeah,
Cash took it. Damn, nice.
yeah, yeah.
The
Oh, hey
champ.
guys, and also Rattle will also be answering questions too from the chat too.
Hey man, this guy's
Just,
putting me on the spot, man. I
just
wasn't
to throw
aware of
some,
this. Nah, just
just to
kidding.
throw, just to throw some curveballs at you, man.
No, but yeah, dude. Like, long story short, because
Yeah.
that's something I've been wanting to do. This is just an idea. Like, I haven't even thought about it, but I've always wanted to
Mhm.
write a book. But I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's one of those things that it's just kind of lingering there. But honestly, I'm just kind of lazy because just the thought of writing a whole book, I'm like, oh, But
Hey,
it would
man,
it
like
would be
all
interesting.
it does, it takes one day, man. Like
Yeah, it's
just
one day at a time,
like,
man. One day at a time.
yeah,
But
yeah,
because yeah,
pen and
because
paper, man. Pen
yeah,
and
but
paper.
yeah, so much that happened. But yeah, no, I learned. So it took me 6 months maybe, like to learn, like to master just like basic conversation and talk to like other kids and stuff.
Uh huh.
I learned that, and of course I learned Braille, and that's what got me through school because again, no technology. That we don't have the luxury of nowadays. Everything is tech. Back
Hmm.
then you had to do everything manually. And everything. So that's how that's how I got to it. And
Hmm.
but that was basically my education experiences. Like once I learned English, then I got placed in I was always in public schools. Like I never went to like any blind school, none of that. Like I always
Hmm.
wanted to be like at a public school because I wanted the real world experience. um because that's just gonna be. You're gonna have bullies, you're gonna have people that do like you, you're gonna have people that don't like you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So so
like
that's
the typical school stuff.
yeah, typical school stuff. You get into fights and stuff. I got into a few fights. So like so that's the thing. So I that's how I grew up. Was just being in that environment. Like I was always public school. Like the this from what I noticed at the time, because I did. So fun fact though, I did go to like summer camps at some like blind school,
Uh huh.
at a different city, like in Austin. So in Austin, they will
Yeah.
have this summer programs and everything, and I went. Those were cool and everything, but I did notice that for me personally, it felt like they were a little too sheltering. And I'm like, I don't know about
Hmm.
that. Like that's not gonna teach me the real world.
Hmm.
So I was, so I always, I was always at a public school and everything, and always surrounded by like sighted kids and stuff. And that's how I've always been around like the sighted kids, and that's how I grew up.
Hmm.
And that's why I kept gaming, I think, too, though, right? Because
Hmm.
when and I guess we'll talk about this in more detail, right? But when I got back into gaming again, and I discovered like fighting games and stuff, I
Hmm.
was able to at least do that with some of the kids, in school and stuff. And so
Yeah.
that was still something that I could connect with them and all that.
Okay. So like, besides gaming, like, how did you also get in like to music then?
So okay, this is what I tell people all the time. You know that movie School of Rock?
Yeah.
That's actually became one of my favorite movies because it hit me like a truck, dude. Because
Hmm.
a lot of it happened to me sort of like that, except my teacher wasn't as goofy as Jack Black. you know like I mean he was just a cool guy, dude. Like this
Hmm.
guy, our homeroom teacher in middle school, like he had
Hmm.
this tradition of every student, that's if they wanted to, of course. Like every
Hmm.
student who goes through his classroom would have an opportunity to learn an instrument of their choice. And
Uh huh.
once they master the instrument, then they would join his band. He had this little band, like in the
What?
middle school. Yeah, dude, like he always and it was like this tradition that he had. Because
Hmm.
it was his way to like get people to like do things where they can start, that way, like other kids can see that they have skill and stuff. He was very it was a cool
That.
guy. This teacher was awesome, and I'm still friends
Oh.
with him now. Because that's how much he impacted me with what he did. Because he introduced me to the guitar,
Hmm.
the bass guitar, the drums, and everything. And of course, just playing with them, making noise, not knowing what I was doing. But you
Hmm.
know, he would always say, during homeroom time, he's like, "All right, finish your English, session or your whatever. And if you finish all of your homework during homeroom time on Friday, we get to play some music." So I
Uh
saw
huh.
it as a reward kind of thing. It's like, oh heck yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's how that's and so I just started playing, and then once he took his real drums, because back then I was just playing on this keyboard and it had like pretend instruments in like the sounds and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he's like, hey, so I see you like rhythm, and he's like, all right, I got a surprise like next 2 weeks. My man brings an entire drum set to the classroom, because the principal allowed him to do that too. Like he could do that, so
Wait,
he had.
like, so was it a 4 piece, a five
It was a five
piece?
piece. He brought in a five piece. And dude, of
Oh,
course, I was like, man, this is so cool. I was just banging on it, making noise. It's just like I was just like,
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
out about it. And next thing you know, I just like I wouldn't let go of it. It's like, so you really like? It's like, yeah, I like those drums. All right, cool. So he kind of taught me the
Hmm.
basic rhythms and everything. And then
Hmm.
we started. He started his band again. Because there was another
Hmm.
kid who picked up the guitar really good. There's this girl who picked up the keyboards really good. This other girl picked up the bass, and this other guy picked up the bass. So there was like, then next thing you know, and he played guitar. So next thing you know, we had a full fleshed out band, and we started playing like, rock and roll kind of music, because he was
Hmm.
like a 70s, 80s rock and roll kind of guy. And
Yeah.
so he's like, oh, let's play these songs. And we're like, whatever, we didn't care. Like, it didn't matter that if we liked it or not. It was just fun. And
Yeah.
we
It's like
played it.
songs.
Yeah, it was just songs. It was just jamming out. And then that's how I fell into it. And then I just kept my love for it after I graduated from like, well, after I finished middle school. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
just kept it going, and I just
Oh
played drums
wow.
on the side and everything. And I even wanted to join like the marching band at the time, but that's where issues started happening. Like the ninth and 10th grade was,
Yeah.
the instructor didn't want me in his marching band. Again, like you said, liability, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then everything. So
Not like
then
liability. It's like, oh,
or
do I
just that
really?
underestimating too, right? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, well, I gotta take care of this kid kind of thing.
Hmm.
But thankfully at the time I was already, already proficient with my O&M and all that stuff. I was already like going out, taking the bus by myself and all that stuff too.
Hmm.
Um, and so, but anyway, but yeah, like that's how I kept it going. And then by 11th grade, that's when I finally, because that band director he retired.
Hmm.
And the new person that came in, she heard about me like in the school, because a lot of people knew I played drums in school. And
Hmm.
then she's like, hey, can you come by my office one day? I want to talk to you. I was like, okay. And hear me thinking I was in trouble, because I was always
Yeah.
used to getting called to the office because I was in trouble. Um,
Yeah.
and then it's like, hey, by the way, I heard you play drums. You want to come by maybe sometime? Like, I want to see how to play. And turns out it was like
Hmm.
some kind of like a minor addition, I guess. And then she goes like, hey, go talk to the education person, whatever, and like they can switch you up, your counselors, they can switch you up to, to band classes on the afternoons, blah blah blah. And next thing you know,
Wow.
so I was, and then by 12th grade, that's when I joined the jazz band officially, and then so I was a jazz drummer for a long time.
Oh,
um
nice.
yeah, I played jazz for a while, and I got the hang of it, and just learned everything by ear, because everybody else would read the sheet music, but I was like, hey, just give me the recordings and I'll listen to them and I'll bring them back. And that's how I did it. And
Man,
yeah.
like, that's how I had like to teach myself when I was first learning the drums too. Cause like I had a CD,
Hmm.
and like then so I kept like listening to like first mostly like the basic parts, especially for like like a basic the basic was it like the very basic like rhythm, with the 4/4, with it like
Hmm.
the bass snare, and then like the hi hat, and
Got
then
the
like
hi-hats.
the
Yeah.
yeah, and then like the ride. So it's like, so I listened that over and over, then just make my brain get used to doing quarter notes with like my let's see, okay, quarter notes with like my left, and then like my right foot, and then like eighth notes with like my like right hand.
Yeah, that was that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I kept going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
They have you count like that. Did you ever come across those metronomes that talk? They're kind of annoying. It's like this high pitched voice. It goes like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I never knew about those. I never
They
knew
had
about
those,
those.
dude. But our drum teacher used to be so annoying with it, because he was trying to teach people how to actually listen to a rhythm. He's like, just
Mhm.
listen, and he'll like put it on the speakers too. It's like, man, like, because that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys not listening to me. It's like, okay, we get it now. So he used to be kind of
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. But like,
Um.
yeah, because like until now, I still can do just like the paradiddle now too.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. The basic paradiddles. Yeah.
yeah, I still like to like doing it, because like when I catch myself being bored, bored, I just do it. Just
Because it's
randomly.
fun, dude. Like like when you when you like something, you're always gonna come back to it because you like it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it's fun. Like
yeah.
I never
Mhm,
left it just because to me that's what got me through tough lot things in life. Music was there for
mhm,
me and
mhm,
everything, and just me drumming. I feel like how you feel. It makes you for me. I feel like I own something. Like this is mine. No one's gonna
mhm.
take it away from me. No matter what it is. So
For
it
me,
just it
it's
just
it's
it's felt like that.
yeah, because like for me, once I get in that like drummer groove, it's like for me like a bubble just playing.
Yeah, it's like this
You
nice
like that for
little
me?
little bubble, and you get to let it all out, banging on those drums.
Yeah. Wow. So like, how did you from like drumming to getting part of like your band started?
So that happened since the whole time I was trying to get into music at school, actually. Because
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
because my brother, so my brother is the guitarist now, but I
Uh
I
huh.
was the first one who picked up instruments. And the thing about it too, like this whole thing that was going on in middle school with my teacher like teaching me drums and stuff, I didn't tell that to anybody in my family.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And then like the last, I think was like even right after I finished middle school, we had a show with my teacher and his in the band, and
Mhm.
then and he was like, hey, so maybe invite your family, see if they will like it, because he started inviting everybody. Like this dude started gathering a crowd. Oh, there'll be a show, we're gonna do a show, this and that, and people like RSVPing and everything. And back then they would literally
Yeah.
sign this paper like that you're going, and how it is back then, everything is on paper. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were signing, they're like, yeah, and it was like, dude, like a lot of people were signing up, and so us kids, we're getting nervous. It's like, man, we don't want to pay a bunch of front of a bunch of people like that. What the heck?
Yeah. It's like like
Like this is
how
just
our
for fun,
parents are
but
gonna
but it
care.
turned,
It's like,
yeah. And then he was like, hey, so it's like, all right, invite your family. So people are like, okay, so especially there was a couple of girls that are like, oh, I get to invite my family. Like, yeah, okay. So I was like, she's like, that's kind of relaxed me. And he was like, okay, then that's what I wanted to hear. That's good. So and so then I came up to my family, was like, hey, by the way, I have a show this in 2 weekends. They were like, what show? What are you talking about? I was like, you'll see. you know like, just come by. Here's an invitation from my teacher, blah blah blah. So anyway, long story short, we played that show, it was done, and that's when my brother
mhm,
saw me play instruments. He was like, yo, I didn't know you
mhm,
played that. Get out of here. And he's
mhm,
older than me, so he's older than me. so
mhm,
so he asked, my mom for him for a guitar. And at the time, of course, he's like, no, I don't have the money, blah blah blah. so
mhm,
so then he started like doing he brought in the side hustle again. And this
mhm.
was during the time with CDs, back then, like if yeah,
Ah, burning CDs, burning CDs.
yeah. So he
That's
started doing
another
this
good
the
source of
CD
income too, man. Come on,
yeah.
people always needed those mixed CDs, man. Come
Right.
on,
Yo, he started doing the mix CDs, dude, and those were selling like hotcakes, bro. So that's how he
It's,
made his money for his first guitar.
man. Like especially the R&B ones. Come on,
Hmm?
every guy needed that one.
Hey, facts, yo, you could not go with that one, dude. Even if I'm gonna tell you as a metalhead, even if you're a metalhead, dude, you needed that R&B album, bro. You needed it. You needed it. I'm telling you. Oh, dude. But yeah. So the whole band started because of that. Like, once he started learning how to play guitar, and he became
Mhm.
obsessed with it, dude. Like,
Damn.
literally at night you hear him just like no distortion, no nothing, like no plugged in. He was just trying to get the finger style, like,
Mhm.
down and all that.
Mhm.
He just became obsessed with it, dude. And next thing you know, like, my man was already playing some like guitar riffs and all that stuff. And
Hey,
you
like,
know
but that's
and
how you build the calluses, man.
yeah, dude. And then next thing you know, like, we're in the garage, just like, we're pretending we're in a band,
Yeah.
and we're like jamming to like the songs that we like. And because he would learn the songs, and he's like, hey, learn this, on drums. I'm like, okay. I was like, I already know it. I'm just waiting on you,
Mhm.
basically. And so
Catch
he's like,
up.
man, he used to always, to this day, he always hates that. Like, man, I can't ask you anything because he already got it. I was like, well, yeah, dude, I'm ready.
Catch up.
And you can catch up. So, but yeah, that's how they started. So the band started basically like any other band in the garage.
Yeah.
Then
Mhm.
I met my friend from high school. He also, it turns
Mhm.
out, he also played guitar. We brought him in. We started jamming out, and we just kept it going. We kept it going, and then we played covers for a long time, like for six years maybe.
Ah,
Yeah, we played nothing but
yep, the
covers.
normal, basically, like the normal start, man.
Yeah, the normal
Being,
start. Yeah, dude,
yeah,
we were terrible. I'm telling you right now, it was so bad. Musically, I guess we were okay, but as far as like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's like,
as a group, right? As a
yeah,
group,
but
like yeah,
no,
like guys were
I'm,
terrible, right?
I'm talking about more like the PR side of things. Like when you're on
Oh, the
stage,
outsider.
dude,
Okay, okay.
horrible, dude, horrible. Like it was like, uh, uh, thanks for coming, I guess, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Cool.
cringe, dude, like cringe.
Yeah.
And so we're
So
we're
like,
just four guys on stage. We're gonna do some songs for y'all. You know what I mean? Like no energy, no
yeah,
nothing. It was just like, dude, it
mhm.
was horrible. And that was me, by the way. That was me
Monotone.
doing all the talking. That was me the whole time. It was horrible, dude. Damn.
It's like, why me? I'm the drummer. I'm not the lead guitarist.
Well, the problem is that we could never find a singer, and it so happens that I was in choir during high school. I was in choir in high school. So my
Oh,
brother
okay.
was like, "Dude, we're not even gonna bother looking for a singer because we already got one." I was like, "Dude, what are you talking? I want to play drums." He's like, "Nope, we're doing this." And then and that's how it's. So I just ended up stuck being the singer and drummer at the same time. And that our shows have always been that way too. I do the drums and
Uh-huh.
vocals. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then fast forward to now, right? Like we kept it going, blah blah blah. We did some more shows, and we finally got the courage to write our own music. I remember we wrote one song, but it was so lame. But we're like, screw it, it's giving us practice. And then we just started
No,
working on
yeah,
it more and
because
more and
like,
more.
yeah,
Yeah,
because like songs do like go through like many revisions too.
big
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So how'd you get the name like Disartica? Because like, did it went through like many like name changes for the band, or do you guys
Uh,
just stuck with that?
we had so many names, like because especially teenagers used to always want to be all edgy and stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
We had like Deathtron, or we had like freaking
Deathtron.
yeah.
Okay.
We also had what's it called? We had one called Death Rattle, which, fun fact, that kind of adds to my gamer tag actually.
Uh huh.
We had one called Death Rattle, but then we found out there was another band named that way. And so it was all these words, and then we were like, you know what? Forget all of these names, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
let's do something like unique. And so what we did is we actually took different words and put them together into one.
Mhm.
So what it is we thought how metal is categorized as, right? It's not, it's a
Mhm.
bunch of distorted guitars, right? Like the heavy
Mhm.
distortion, all that stuff. So we just took the first word of distortion, the first part of it, right?
Mhm.
Like dist.
Mhm.
And then we always considered music to be art, you know so we put it right there. And then we did the whole thing with like that whole Metallica thing, right? And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
just put it at the end and you have the Startica. That's how we did. So it's distortion, art, and like Metallica, and we just mixed
Oh,
it into one
nice.
word, and that's how it came out. Yeah, and that's how we did it. When that happened, dude, it
Ah.
was funny. When that happened, it was like everybody just got quiet. It was like, that's it. Like and even somebody was like, do not suggest any other names. That's it. Like, because then you're gonna start
Mhm.
overthinking it. That's it. We're gonna name it like that, and then we just rolled with it.
Nice.
And then we
Oh,
had our guy do the
hey,
lyrics.
hey, Lennon's Kitchen. How are you? Oh, cool. Okay, now that answered my question because like I was curious the whole time. How'd you get the band name though?
Yeah, that's how it was. That's just, it was,
You're good.
just putting words together.
Hey,
And then,
Christina, how are you?
hey,
Okay.
let me jump in the
Okay.
chat
Just
too, y'all. Sorry, I just got home right before we started the interview, so I'm still like settling in even right now. So
yeah, no worries, no worries. You're good.
I want to jump in there.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to catch up with the cats too.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, but I'm here though. Don't worry. So you can still ask me questions.
Oh no, because I'm checking chat too. So yeah.
No.
No,
Yeah. Hope chat is doing good out there, y'all. Sorry, I'm not in the chat again, but hey,
no,
just want to say
not
thanks
like
again to Toast for having me here and just chilling, discussing about all kinds of
yeah,
things.
yeah. No, yeah, because like I was really curious about this stuff. So like, while like you were in the band, like were you still just like gaming on the side too?
Always, dude. Like I never stopped gaming. Like
Mhm.
when we came, one of the things that we were promised as kids when we came to the U.S. with my mom because when we were
Yeah.
kids, we were scared too. Because I didn't come by myself. I came with my brother, to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my sisters. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that got us to come here was like my mom was like, and back then everybody called everything a Nintendo. Remember, like parents,
Yeah.
they
Uh-huh.
called
Uh-huh.
everything.
Yep. Yep.
So my mom was like, "Hey, if you come here, I promise you, I'll buy you a Nintendo." And so, that's something we never had before. We saw kids like with the rich
Yeah.
kids in our town have that stuff, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
Yep.
and
And
so
yeah.
me and my brother were like, yeah, let's go. you know so that convinced us, and so yeah, the when we got here, the first console that we ever got was a Nintendo 64, actually.
Well,
And everything.
oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
And we didn't even know that the PlayStation was like at its peak back then, like the PS1, the PSX, right? Because
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
we just got
Actually,
whatever at the
my
time.
my first one was the Super Nintendo.
Oh, dude, I have a story about that pisses me off. Actually,
Yeah.
it's my
What?
Super Nintendo got
Go on.
lost.
Go
That's
on.
basically it. Oof. Anyway,
Oh.
yeah, it's bad. But so and everything, so we got our 64 and everything. So and that was when I could barely see it at that point anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
honestly, to me, kind of, it actually felt like it wasn't worth it, because I'm like, man, I can't
Mm-hmm.
see this thing. You know what I mean? Like I could barely see looking.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, that's when like your doctor was telling me, hey, you don't stress out your eyes anymore. I'm like, but I want to play.
I know.
So I
I
was
want
like,
to
but I
sit
want to
close to the
play,
TV.
dude. Like,
Okay.
why are you telling me this now? Right? Like right after I got the Nintendo, because I would tell her, my doctor's like, hey, I got a gaming console. She stopped. She's like, oh, we need to talk. Kind of thing. I was like, oh my god. So dude, it was the worst timing. So, and but yeah, like, I always played. So we got the Nintendo 64, and everything. So obviously the games that we got were Mario, Legend of, the good ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
those games I couldn't even play anymore because I just couldn't see. And but luckily we had a MK trilogy. Like that was the first
Mm-hmm.
game I ever owned physically. I actually still have it right here. It's actually right in front of me right now.
Oh,
um
nice.
yeah, I still have the thing. So, and so I would just push buttons, not knowing what the hell's going on. But at some point, the more you do it, obviously you start realizing, hey, something's happening, that I kind of figuring out what's going on by the sounds. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's how
And
just I start,
patterns.
yeah, patterns and stuff. And then once my brother, because he told me, like, this is like as an adult, he told me now, he's like, yeah, he said it, like, yeah, he felt bad because I couldn't play and stuff. So that's why I remember when we were at the time, he would, like, sometimes instead of him just sitting there playing, because he would get carried away, but he said that's when he started,
Mm-hmm.
like, wanted to show me, hey, actually we do this like this, because he started looking at magazines at the time, like Game
Mm-hmm.
Informer, all the gaming things that you could buy
Mm-hmm.
at a grocery store. We started buying the
Yeah.
game, and he's like, hey, right here's telling me how to do a combo. And so he would try it. It's like, and like, he'll get excited. It's like, yeah, I got it. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll teach you, So he would teach me the moves and everything. And so I just started memorizing them, and then it got to the point where we used to play every weekend. Like, it became like, he actually kind of got us closer, because
Mm-hmm.
we used to fight a lot, as every sibling would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, like, after that, we started on the week, when school was done for the weekend. And back then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, our first thing to do, Saturday morning cartoons first. Once that was done, we
Of
had our
course,
lunch.
man.
Yeah,
Of course,
you know
man.
how it goes, man. And then after
Yeah.
that, it's like, we let us play. And my mom used to be very strict at, like, how long we could play, but when she saw how much we were all into it, she's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like laid back on that, and we just like be there on the whole, like, afternoon,
It's like
just
they're
playing.
finally bonding
Yeah,
over something.
exactly. Yeah, finally, but like, we weren't fighting anymore. And we're there, like, yo, we're yelling. And sometimes she would come in, like, why y'all screaming? It's like, oh, it's because we're doing this, and it's just in the game that we're okay. Like, we have to reassure that we weren't fighting anymore. But it was, but that's how we started getting good at the games. And like, when that's, that's when I learned and then a lot of Mortal Kombat trilogy had those, like, dialing combos, right? Like Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
once I
Yeah.
mastered it, it felt good, dude. Then I started playing against the arcade whenever my brother was not around, and I would just kind of just do that, and I kept it going. So then I just stayed, every time a new game would come out, I was there. And of course, I grew up with the PlayStation 2 era, which I know it's
Mm-hmm.
not the best era, for MK.
No, well, like it's not too bad because, like, like Slifer, Spiral, like Splinter Cell,
Hmm.
like Twisted Metal Black, is
Yeah,
But
but
no.
yeah, there was just those cool games, dude. And but
Yeah.
at the same, but I just ended up playing Mortal Kombat, like I
Hmm.
just played, and I just stuck to it, through the worst of it too. I just stuck to it, and because to me, because I'm not knowing better, I didn't know that there were more games too, but I just had MK that was just felt like so familiar to me,
No,
and
no,
then
yeah,
yeah.
because come on, like we all had our favorites,
Hmm.
Doesn't matter,
Now
besides Mortal Kombat. Yeah, yeah.
the other game that I did have that was like it's like close to me, like to this day, it was the first Dragon Ball Budokai. I know everybody likes Budokai 3, but my favorite is the first one because
Ah.
yeah, like the one on the PlayStation 2. Well,
Hmm.
it was on all of them, right? It was on the GameCube, on the Xbox, and the PlayStation 2. I remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game
yeah.
because I remember my friend from high school at the time. He called me. He's like, "Hey, dude, I think I found a game that is kind of like Mortal Kombat, but like it's Dragon Ball. Because obviously we both like Dragon Ball."
Yeah,
He's like, "Dude,
yeah,
just
yeah.
come when you come to my house, tomorrow after school, we'll try it out." I was like, "All right, cool," And so we tried it, and he saw how I picked it up. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This game." He's like, "This game is cool, huh? Yeah, it's badass." And so then we will play that for hours with him too. So
Oh,
that's when I started
cause like,
realizing, hey, there's more games.
for me, it wasn't Mortal Kombat. I think it was more of Dead or Alive. I think Dead or Alive. I think
Oh,
like
okay.
one or two. I think two, because like it was
Hmm.
on the Dreamcast and then like poured over to the PlayStation. That was for me for a bit.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dude, and I
yeah,
didn't even know those games back then. Like I was
yeah,
so into my bubble of MK and
yeah.
maybe any other game. Of course, what I like to call this my I used to have watched playthrough sessions before it was a thing on YouTube, because my brother would play the games, and I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
sit there and literally have my snacks with me. So it was like watching a movie for me. Because he will be playing through
I
the
did the same thing with my brothers because like I sucked at it, especially
uh-huh,
when the fat Xbox because like I
uh-huh,
sucked at Halo, but then
uh-huh.
like I watched my like my brother beat. I was like, cool, okay.
That's badass. That's how I did with the God of War series. With the Legend of Zelda games. What else did he play? He played um,
It's funny. I never watched a whole playthrough of Zelda yet
oh
before.
man, yeah. It's one of those things I feel like you had to experience like at home by yourself. Like not by yourself, but
Hmm.
like with when you were growing up to really experience it now. Because when you look at games now,
Hmm.
people have so much standards now that it's like, oh, this is not good anymore. It's not to my standards now. It's not like
Hmm.
the graphics are whatever. And it's like, dude, like
Hmm.
this game literally was a pioneer of what games are now. Like so people
Hmm.
don't really connect with that stuff that way.
Hmm.
But for a lot of us who grew up in that era, like, we appreciate where it came from, because it's like that's the beginning of where things were now, to where it is
Yeah,
where
because
it
trust
is
me,
right now.
games were a lot harder back then until now.
Heck
Okay,
yeah. Oh,
they were
super
a lot
hard
harder.
back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gameplay was
Mhm.
designed of like
Mhm.
to make it where like it's because you want to make it challenging so people can get their money's worth, because what you
Yeah.
don't want to get an easy game you finish like in a few hours, and then
Hmm.
that's not how it was back then. Back then people didn't
It's
have this issue of very short attention span like now a lot of people do now. Like people just want
like plus
something like
like
that. Yeah.
yeah, and plus like back then it was okay to have cheat codes too. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, well, of course you have cheat codes. But dude, even having the cheat codes, the games were still hard though. you know?
It
Like
was. It was.
no matter how many cheat codes you had, it was still difficult, dude. It's like, yo, what, because
Dude, I had
yeah.
to go through like at least 3 or 4 Game Sharks for the PlayStation 2 because like it kept breaking.
Yeah, I remember those. They used to break a lot too, actually. Yeah.
Because that annoyed me. I spent $40. Then what the hell? 3 months later,
Was it 40
freaking
bucks? I
Game
remember
Shark.
being more expensive than that. I thought they were like 50 bucks at some point. I don't remember honestly. Because I had like three of
Uh,
those. I had 3 Game Sharks. No, let me see. I think I went through like 3 or 4 too, actually, because they kept breaking.
was it 50? I don't
I,
know.
I, I think I don't remember because when I said 40 bucks, I'm like, was it 40 bucks? Nah, I don't remember anymore, dude.
I don't know
I
because
know they
okay,
were I know they were expensive though, dude, because I had to save money for them.
yeah, because like I know I got either like one of them from FunClan back then. It was FunClan before GameStop.
Hmm.
Then I know I bought one at Toys R Us too. Oh shit,
Hey,
yeah. But I don't know. But yeah, I also did like with a lot because some games just annoy me. It's like fuck it, I'll use the game shark. Fuck it,
Hmm.
whatever.
It's just too hard, dude. Like, yeah, it's just like screw it, you know.
Yeah,
Or they would unlock characters like for because this was a Mortal Kombat thing. Like, they would have
yeah.
like characters that were not playable like in the main
As
fighting
you know,
1v1.
I think so. PlayStation
Yeah.
2, I think did that had like Deception and I think
Yes.
da, 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 da.
Yeah. This Daily Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon.
Okay, so I played Armageddon again. I just did not like Armageddon.
Well, yeah, nah, nobody liked it, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Even the most hardcore MK fan would tell you, like, yeah, this game is pretty ass, dude. It was all like jumble up, but again, it's basically what's happening right now with WB, right? Like where
Mm-hmm,
they have to do these games because they have to, not because they're
mm-hmm,
into it. You know what I mean?
hmm.
It's kind of like that. Like that game was just rushed out because like Midway was depending so much on MK at the time already, anyway. And so they were just shelling out games every year, dude. Every freaking year. It's like, dude, like
Yeah,
give it a break,
yeah.
man. These people need like
No,
at
seriously,
least
Midway had a bunch of games. THQ had a bunch of games.
HQ. Yeah.
Naughty Dog, um, whatever the Lions one, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name because like back then it was like so many different companies.
They were just
And then
going ham with the games every year, dude. It was like, yo, yeah, you need to let these devs like
look at that, another Spyro game. Okay.
yeah, it was they were just like throwing games to left and right, dude. So so it was yeah, but that's the era I'm talking about. Like that's the Deception, Deadly Alliance, Armageddon.
Mm-hmm,
Um, for a lot of fans, Deception is the best one just because basically they perfected everything that they meant to do in Deadly Alliance, where they had
mm-hmm.
like death traps, they had like a whole like a conquest mode where you can walk around like in all the different realms and stuff, and you get to come across all the Mortal Kombat characters and everything. And the gameplay, of course, was busted, like it was broken, But dude, kids back then didn't care about that shit, as much. They just
Yeah, not
played or
like
whatever,
all we cared was like, hey, I beat you. Tough luck, okay?
Tough
Just deal
luck.
with
That's
it.
it. Or the usual with Mortal Kombat. Unfortunately, to me, it's unfortunate because I don't care about it anymore. But it's like the fatalities, or how brutal it is, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But that's
Mm-hmm.
that's how it was, and yeah.
Then okay, well, I like then like still on this topic, like, how did you like get into the accessibility? Did it just fall? You know, did did it just like came across it like just like like randomly, or like did you wanna like pursue it?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes to accessibility, um,
Yeah.
I discovered that later on because the first thing
Mm-hmm.
I discovered was the tournament scene
Mm-hmm.
for fighting games. And so I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't thinking so much. I mean, yeah, sure I was thinking maybe accessing the game better and all that stuff, but but I was thinking more of like in game stuff, like
More.
characters, more competitive,
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
was
So
always a
like so
competitor
still.
first, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then accessibility stuff that came in later. That's like way later.
Mm-hmm.
Because my first thing was like when MK9 came out. That's like
Mm-hmm.
I would do the usual, like I used to always play against the arcade, whatever, just
Arcade and like
yeah,
the
that's
towers, right?
towers, what I mean, like or
Mm-hmm.
with my brother. That was the last game my brother ever played, like that we would compete with each other. Like he actually like would go
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube and learn the combos, and he would teach me the combos too, like if I couldn't figure them out or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then that was his last game because he got into more music, like he got into audio engineering and stuff. That's so he
Mm-hmm.
just went his own way, which is cool. He got his
No,
degree
yeah.
and everything, so that's
Yeah.
cool. So when he started kind of dropping off, that's when I started going to like the gaming websites, like Test Your Might, MortalKombat.com. I was
Mm-hmm.
always into the Mortal Kombat scene, just hardcore.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And next thing you know, I remember when Ed Boon and everybody was like saying, this game we're aiming towards more the competitive scene. I'm like, what competitive scene? What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out, that Street Fighter has always been there all along. It's a competitive scene anyway.
Yeah,
And
because like I think since like Street
it
Fighter
was Street Fighter 2.
2 Turbo.
Yeah, it's Street
Yeah,
Fighter 2.
2
Yeah,
Turbo. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it Turbo? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's always been there, right? So Street Fighters
Mm-hmm.
always had that competitive scene, And
Yeah.
then Evo, I was like, what the hell's Evo, and then by then, of course, the 2010s, yeah, I wasn't,
Oh yeah.
I was going to college and everything already. So
Uh huh.
I was able to do. I was like, let me do some research on that. Like what are they talking about? And then I found out
Hmm.
the moment 37th, right? With Justin Wong and
Hmm.
all that. And then I started for like, wait, people actually compete like that? Like what the hell? And so then when Mortal Kombat 9 came out, then all these players like that were coming out, and apparently they were known in that, like in all these gaming,
Hmm.
all these Mortal Kombat websites, they were well known,
Hmm.
and they started going off
Hmm.
these tournaments, and then you see how they were playing. I'm like, yo, I want to play the game like that. Like the way I'm playing looks like garbage, because
Hmm.
I was just doing like
Hmm.
basic kicks, uppercuts, playing like as if it was like MK1 or 2, like just pretty basic.
Hmm.
And these guys were like busting out with like kick ass combos in the corner, all that stuff, and so I started asking people online, dude. I was like, hey, how do you guys do that? Like, I'm curious, whatever. And I would always try to steer away from me revealing that I'm visually impaired, because you always got awkward. You remember, how
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
gets super
Yeah.
awkward, dude. And that was before it got blindness got more exposure, right? People were
Yeah.
still kind
Yeah.
of like iffy about it, so.
No, no,
And
yeah, 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 yeah. Because like at that time, still, because like you said, right, in like 2010s, like yeah, like barely. I think like the iPhone 4S was. I mean, no, the
that was
3GS
the
was.
three, dude. Barely the three was out.
Yeah, the three, and then YouTube was like barely, like still like just random ass stuff on there too, barely being started. So, okay, yeah, yeah, because like no one knew about like the blindness stuff, or like low vision or like wherever else.
Yeah, and so that's what it was hard, but I mean, I started asking people like, because I'm like, man, I got nothing to lose, like, I'll just
Hmm.
ask, and if they say no, it's whatever, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, that's when I got my when I finally revealed I was blind, it got awkward. But what I like, and
Hmm.
and so in the two things happened on the Mortal Kombat website. It was called Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
Online. On that
Uh huh.
website, it was more casual fans, like more like the story, the character backgrounds, all that stuff, whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
On that side, I revealed my blindness, and it was like a disaster, so then I stopped posting there,
Oh shit.
but in the competitive scene, though, it was like the opposite, actually, because they were like, wait, wait,
Oh.
wait, wait, okay, you're blind, but how do you doing it? And then, like, I would explain it to them, and thankfully some of them would take the time to kind of like read, and actually, because then they will respond, be like, oh, wait a minute, he's like, I'm playing right now and I'm hearing these sounds, blah blah blah, so, oh, that's what it. I'm like, dude, that's smart, blah blah blah. They will say things like that. I'm like, well, I'm not
Hmm.
really, dude. I'm just adapting. That's all it is. That's nothing really special
Hmm.
about it. I'm just adapting to what I
Hmm.
got. And so it's like, oh,
Hmm.
dude, all right, cool. Like, you know what? And so, and at the time, that was when James Fink, who actually worked on the Mortal Kombat games, the home console versions,
Hmm.
he was on those sites too, and so he saw my name and he heard about me and everything. And at the time, he was already doing his show called the Blast Show, when he would like do, like, it's like a podcast basically, what we're doing right now, basically.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he would bring in like top players, or he'll do, like, let's say if there was a tournament that weekend, the next week will be about that weekend. It's like, hey, let's talk about that, and it was like, and it's all kinds of players go in there. He's like, what, everybody's welcome here. If you're all into like the story mode, let's talk about it. If you're into like the competitive scene, let's talk about it. If you're into Street
Hmm.
Fighter, y'all can come by. This is not just Mortal Kombat, whatever.
Hmm.
So you had, because he had all people like Arturo Sanchez, Team Spooky, he had all those big names there, and
Yeah.
so that's when he brought me into his podcast, and we talked, and it was the most cringe thing I've ever done. God damn, it was horrible. But we
Come
talked
on.
in there,
It was like
dude. It
it
was
was
bad.
like your first. It
Holy,
was like your
it was,
first like interview, man.
dude, it was so bad, bro. My God, like I went back to it, and I'm like, damn, this is horrible, But that's when, like, that's when he announced, he's like, hey man, so if you actually practice, because he's like, I see you out there and talking to competitors, if you practice and put your effort on it, I'm gonna sponsor you to Evo. And I was like, and he announced, like, I'm telling you right now in public, so
Yo,
that way everybody could see I'm not
yeah.
bullshitting. He said, I'll sponsor you to Evo, man. And he was like, get with these guys from Houston. They're a competitive team down in Houston. Hit them up.
Hmm.
It's like, if they don't hit you up, I'll make sure they hit you up, whatever. And so I was
Hmm.
like, no, I think I was like, I think I know who you're talking about, because because I watch their streams, and I used to watch the streams. I
Hmm.
would tune in, and they would do, like, they will have locals every week. Every week they
Hmm.
had locals. So And then so finally, like on that testing my website, one of them hit me up. He used to go by KH Cat, and
Mm-hmm.
so he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, yo, dude, like, what's his name? James MK told me to hit you up. You're interested in, coming out?" He's like, "Yeah, I actually meet with everybody comes to my crib, to practice in my garage, So if you down to come by, you want me to go pick you up?" I was like, "Nah, dude, like, I'll take a ride. I got my own ride. Like, I'll just schedule it." I was like, "Just let me know." So anyway, long story short, I joined that group,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when my love for tournament, like competitive play, began.
Mm-hmm.
Because we used to go every Friday. We used to train. We used to, and the first day going in there, right? It was the usual
Mm-hmm.
awkwardness, like with the blindness thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then they had me play against like all of them. It was kind of like like
Mm-hmm.
joining a gang or some shit, because it's like I had to play everybody, dude. I had to play everybody to see how good
the
I was.
hazing, the hazing phase.
The hazing phase. And and I played all of them, dude. And I remember two of them I beat, two players, because the rest of them, dude, they were like nothing but top players. That was
Mm-hmm.
the birth of Star Charger, who's a known competitive Mortal Kombat player. Scar,
Mm-hmm.
who else? Let's see, there was Maddox. A lot of these names are like Mortal Kombat 9. I don't know if a lot of people would know them now, but they,
Yeah.
they became big at the time. And I played all of them, and and so it became like, dude, this guy knows how to play, whatever. Come back
Like
next Friday.
then, like so, did one of them like give you like your name, like Rattlehead, or like
No,
did you
no,
just
no.
come?
I came up with
Go,
that.
go, yeah.
I came up with that. So yeah, but I mean, but the point right now is that it
Yeah.
was that's how it started, right? Like
Uh huh.
and
Yeah.
what was cool about it too is that yeah, it was awkward at first, like the first day, but then once we got past that, all we talked about is like competitive gameplay, and they treat me like a normal person. You know what I mean? To me,
Mm-hmm.
like that
Yeah.
meant more than anything, because I will walk in there,
Mm-hmm.
and because now they do that now, which is awesome. I'm glad it is now more common now, but back then it was not, dude.
Yeah.
You go to somewhere, it's
No.
like,
No. Yeah.
"Ugh,
Yeah.
nah, yeah." So
No. Yeah.
but and that was, to me, that was badass, dude. That all coming, "Hey, what's up, Rattle? What's up, bro?" Like, hey, they even had my spot saved on one of the corners. Like, they already knew I like this side, one side of the corner where they had one setup. Hey, yo, the setup is right
Yeah.
there, bro. We got you. And then he's like, "Hey, by the way, Star Charger wants to play you today. He wants to teach you this matchup." I'm like, "Oh, damn!" Like that. They had it all planned out, dude. That was one
Mm-hmm.
of the coolest teams I've ever joined, man. And so
Nice.
yeah, and so I ended up traveling with them when we went to Evil. All of us went in, like, on, and everything, like the whole team went together and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was badass. And even in the room, we will still like run sets and practice. Like, we were warmed up because we wanted to do pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's basically, and then the accessibility stuff. I think that's when, after the whole Evil thing that happened, 2013, that's when I understood what was being talked about accessibility, because I got that's when the very, very, very first time that people from NRS approached me, and at Vegas. They're like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're and because Injustice 2, I mean, Justice 1 was the main game back then.
Yeah.
So it was like, "Hey, what can we do to make the game better?" And so I just kind of give this little suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, I know, people who may not know, that's actually the very, very first time that a major studio actually added an accessibility feature for the blind, in a major, like, title. Like, that was the very first time. Um,
Oh. Okay.
that was the very first time. Yeah. So, and it was
Nice.
nothing, right? It was nothing. Like, it was
Mm-hmm.
just some sound cue, and that's it. But it
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
started as, like, the wave of the accessibility movement, right, in the blind community. Because then
Mm-hmm.
that's when, people like, like Ross Miner and all those, like, accessibility consultants, they sort of capitalized on that and they ran with it.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, that was the time where, like, I had just finished college, I was looking for a job, and I happened to I
Mm-hmm.
got a contract job at the time, so I started focus on, like, other life aspects, because I wasn't, we weren't sure the accessibility movement was gonna take off like how it did now. So
No.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe I could have been a content creator full time or something. But I didn't take that risk. I just, I finished school, so I was like, let
No,
me use my
yeah,
degree.
because again,
You know,
like it was still what, like the 2010s, like around
late
that era.
2010s.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, well, no, no, early 2010s. Sorry, yeah, because it was like 2013. Yeah,
yeah,
and then
yeah. Like because
yeah,
again, like everything was like, especially like YouTube is finally taking off. The iPhone was really taking off now.
yeah,
Like do like compare, and then and then yeah, and then like slowly trickling in. Like the whole blind stuff too, because like I didn't know about blind content creators or like
Right.
blind Twitch gamers
Mm-hmm.
until like around like then like around like 2022. Actually, wait,
Mm-hmm.
mid 2021. Yeah.
I was gonna say because I do remember you coming into the scene like around like late 2021, when you started interacting with everybody. I kind of remember that when that happened.
Yeah, because
Um,
I didn't meet you guys because right then I started my YouTube journey, and
uh-huh.
then because like at that time I was I made friends with Blind Boss and then like some other like YouTube creators.
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to TikTok. Then from TikTok she went to Twitch, and then
Mm-hmm.
like from her, I just like saw like you guys in the chat, and her mentioning it, and then I don't remember who I followed first on like Twitch for like the Mortal Kombat stuff. I can't remember. I think it was either Smoke or you. I don't know whomever, but then I think like I don't know how, but I think I came across yours first for like the Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember how, but like yeah.
Right, but yeah, but essentially that's basically what happened. Yeah, I mean, but that accessibility movement really didn't. I feel like it didn't pick up until like maybe 20 late 2014, early 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, that's
Yeah,
where like you started seeing like those guys, like Steve Saylor and everybody like started
yeah.
kind
Steve
of making a name for
Sailor,
themselves.
then
Yeah,
like
Sightless Combat. You had
illegally cited was
Illegally
doing
Cited.
more.
Yeah, Illegally
Yeah,
Cited.
he was doing more of like the iOS and
Yeah, yeah,
PC stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he used to come up on my like along and my recommendations a lot. That's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so that's that how it started. So I mean, like I said, accessibility to me was always like a secondary thing, not as a bad thing or anything. It's just that my
Mm-hmm.
mindset was more like I just want to be good at a game with
Yeah.
what I got, because
For
I
like a
grew up like that,
competitive wise.
competitive wise, because
Yeah.
I grew up like that, even in school, like, I didn't
Yeah.
have all the tools that a lot of blind people always had here, um
Yeah.
I didn't go around with a freaking laptop and iPhone or nothing. Like I went to school literally with just a freaking tape recorder, and I would have to spend time at school like typing my
Mm-hmm.
notes, and staying in the computer lab until like after hours, to get my homework done and stuff, and then go home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's like I'll just give me what give me the simplest things, or so I was always appreciative of the little things, like
Mm-hmm.
give me something that is small. As long as it works, I'm good, so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I felt about the audio and interactive sound cue for Injustice One. For me, I was like, damn, there's this studio that actually literally paid attention to what I said and put it in there, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool, the coolest thing, so um
Mm-hmm.
but and I left it there, obviously, like I could, like I said, I could have done so much more, but hey, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, which it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know but then like when accessibility started becoming more prominent, it was when like you said, like the iPhone stuff, right? Because that's when I started
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what if consoles had a screen reader, right? What if console that stuff? So obviously there was work that was being done behind the scenes with Brandon Cole and Ross and all of those guys, right? And then I happened to also do testing for the Xbox screen reader back in 2016. There used to be
Yeah,
this
cause like I know I think either was it the 360 or like the Xbox One
the
had
Xbox One, dude. It
its
was Xbox
first.
One.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Xbox One.
One
Because
of
when
them.
it came out, do you remember? Like it was very basic, right? Like and sometimes it would glitch a lot and stuff, even just doing basic
Yeah.
tasks like sending a message and stuff. So what I was
Yeah.
doing, so because I signed up for the Insider program, and but what ended up happening was that there was this company called something Shepherd. I forgot what it was. Honestly, I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
anymore because that was like 5 years, more than 7 years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
it was like a third party company that contracted the Xbox, or Microsoft contracted, because it says
Mm-hmm.
directed by Microsoft. And so what the
Yeah.
way back then they used to do it is they would pay you in gift cards as well. Like they didn't it wasn't like how it is now that we have more. It's
Yeah.
more of a direct
Yeah.
payment and stuff. But back then it was just more like, oh, will you do this, and we'll give you a gift card. And so I
Mm-hmm.
used to get paid nothing but gift cards. A lot of my streaming equipment was bought because of that stuff I was doing behind the scenes.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
dude, like a lot, like my capture card, my laptop, all that stuff. that was because I was doing all this like work, and they used to pay me in gift cards, like $75, $80. One time
Hey
I
man, it
did.
adds up though, man. It
It
adds
adds
up
up,
though.
dude. Then I think the most like I when it was like I was like, damn, this is cool. It was when like I did, because it took us 2 hours to
Hmm.
test things back and forth, because I got on a Skype call back then with this lady,
Oh,
and
Skype was
yeah, dude,
was still young too.
it's the Skype call, dude. And we're testing it, sending messages and everything. And so we're just doing all this basic stuff, but so she was just taking notes, and it took us like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's when I remember when I got like $350 for that, like on a gift card. I was like, damn, this is
Yang.
badass, yo, and it was just adding as. So yeah, I got to test all
Mhm.
of that stuff. I'm sure others did too, but back then we couldn't say
Yeah.
anything like at all, so that's why
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we tested those out, and that would submit the feedback and everything. And sometimes it was just very basic as well, where like you get
Hmm.
the email would say, hey, do this little survey and do these tasks, and then fill out the survey and see how it goes. So it was
Hmm.
very simple. It takes like what, 45 minutes or 30 minutes or less.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
did those. So I did that for a while, and so that's when I kind of started understanding like how we need these things, right? Like with accessibility. But in games, honestly, like it wasn't as prominent like within the game itself. Just my thing was just make a screen reader for the game, and that's it. But it turns out
Yeah.
there's way more than that.
Yeah.
And another thing too that I realized right away, I'm glad, is that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you're an expert. It doesn't make you an expert, because
Mm-mm.
because you have to understand, once you look at accessibility as as a whole, like as a spectrum, you got to look at it where things that you might not need, someone else may need that.
Hmm.
So I can't just be like, oh, I'm blind, I know how to do it. No, it's not that. You also have to know how to say, what if somebody who's hard of hearing, how are they going to process this information, right? Or someone
Hmm.
who has issues with their hands, how are they going to get access to, like the game itself.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot. Like the accessibility thing is not, I feel like sometimes people try to simplify it. It's like, oh, all you need is this and this and this and that. No, it's not. Like when you and that's something I learned as a consultant now, that when you do these things, like you have to kind of step outside your own bubble. Like it's not what I want,
Hmm.
it's what the community wants, basically.
Hmm.
um I'll give an example. Like for me, I could care less about the extra sound cues that Mortal Kombat 1 has. But
Hmm.
it's useful for other people who like maybe want to learn the game, or they just find it
Hmm.
cool as well. You know what I mean? Like, so my
Hmm.
opinion doesn't matter, doesn't mean anything. What matters is
Yeah.
what you do with the product that's given to you. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
um
Okay.
it's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. And then I know. Uh, it's a bit late for me, but I can still push on a little bit more. But like
Are you sure? Because it's getting there, bro.
no, it's fine. Because like one, this is a really good conversation. Because like if you watch my stuff, if I have a good conversation, I'm there. I
Hmm.
I am enjoying it. Yeah. So wait, because like I got this from I
Well,
think
hope chat is enjoying
Barry.
it, and we gotta look out for the chat too.
Yeah, Sins, and then I think Captain said his version too. Okay, how did the whole Sento Showdown team get created? In a way, you know.
You know what's funny? It was created out of like several combinations. One
Yeah.
was everybody was doing tournaments online, right? So that kind of
Uh
gave
huh.
us courage for that. Two,
Yeah.
honestly, for me personally, it was boredom. I'm not gonna lie to you, because you're
Uh
just
huh.
sitting there, not doing anything, just playing for no reason. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
And I
Yeah.
like to I like to do things with a purpose. Like if I'm just doing there,
Hmm.
just pushing buttons for no reason, then it's not fun.
Yeah.
Um, so it just came about, like for and everything. And also, and it's just when I started sort of throwing that idea out there, because it all started with a tweet, by the way. So let's give credit to where credit's due.
Hmm.
It started with the tweet, but the person who that then there was someone else who actually had the idea, not just the tweet, because anybody could tweet and not
Hmm.
do anything about it.
Hmm.
you know
Hmm.
um
Yeah.
so that happened, but we were like, let's actually do something with this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's let's do something, that could, like, for all of us, and the idea is
Mhm.
just to, like, to have, just anybody. It doesn't matter if you played at a high level or not. You just, we just wanted to
Mhm.
have, maybe establish a competitive scene for all of
Mhm.
us, um
Yeah.
so, it became because of the pandemic, right? Nobody was doing anything at the time. It was just there.
Yeah.
All everything was, shutting down. There was nothing else going on. Even, like, even offline tournaments, like when they stopped happening for a lot of us who like watching
Mhm.
tournaments. There was nothing going
Mhm.
on, and then the online tournaments started popping up everywhere. So we're like, screw
Yeah.
it. Let's join in the fun. Like, let's do it. We can do something about it. And it took us time because we wanted to plan something that we can, keep track of.
Mhm.
um that way, like, we can make the rules, follow the specific
Yeah.
tournament rules. And we even, thankfully, like, we got friends who knew me at the time, and I could be like, hey, I have questions, like, how do I run a tournament, like, show me
Mhm.
how to run a bracket, how to. So we learned all of that stuff, and we have implemented into the tournament. And yeah, just look at it now. Like, it's been 4 years now of the Central Showdown, and it
Okay.
even doesn't feel like it, right? Because time goes so fast. But
Mhm.
it's been four
Mhm.
years, and I feel like every event has had its moments. I feel like the first one
Mhm.
was we were giving donated items behind the scenes. Now, I know who
Mhm.
exactly they were, but I'm still, to this day, I can't reveal who they were because it was, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
they keep it on the wraps and stuff like that. But just know that it
Mhm.
was important people, though. That's all I can say
Mhm.
at the time.
Yeah.
Then 2021, that's when we streamed it on the Xbox. I don't know if you guys
Mhm.
remember that. That, now that was freaking, that was awesome. And then we switched it to when the PS5 came about. uh
Yeah.
I will reveal this, though. I did try to reach out to Sony, but I feel like they're much way harder to, reach out to, because we wanted
Yeah.
we wanted
Sony
we
is.
wanted to stream it to the PlayStation Twitch. We wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I sent a formal email and everything, like, very, like, professionally put and everything, like,
Mhm.
uh you
Mhm.
know and just explaining, like, basically just kind of like a proposal, right? Making a proposal saying,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Yeah.
this is the whatever we want, but it never went through. I will tell you this, though: if we were to do some other Xbox event, what's cool about it is that we have a good relationship with the production team at Xbox. And so we have it on,
Oh.
on writing. Like, if you guys run any events or whatever, just hit us up. So, that's cool. And that's
Oh, damn.
but we wanted to show accessibility, like, in different platforms. That's why we went to the PS5 when it came out, because it's like, hey, we got to promote accessibility. We're not stuck to one
Yeah.
brand only. We want to do
Yeah.
accessibility, like, everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and then, of course, we did the more, I feel like it's more lighthearted, like the MKX one. um
Yeah.
Now I can say this. So the reason we went with MKX, and not even the Central Showdown team knew about this, actually, but I was already getting in contact with NRS, and I already had no idea how Mortal Kombat 1 was gonna play, and so that's why we went with MKX, just to kind of test the waters with a different game. So there's that.
Mhm.
you
So
know.
was it true? Like you took a while to respond to Captain's request to be his friend and like to fight him.
Dude, I was terrible at socializing, dude. Like, I said that so many times because it's true. Because it's facts. Everybody can feel free to blow me up on this, dude. Everyone who, like, has some interaction with me. I was terrible, dude. Like, Captain got to the point where he had Baron reach out to me, because Baron was the kind of guy. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna bug him until, like,
Yeah.
until he gets pissed off or something, or, like,
Yeah.
basically until, like, I get a reaction, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like, I was just bad. I was, and it took a long time, dude. Yeah, because with Baron, like, he would hit me up too, and
Yeah.
and I'll be like, okay, whatever. And but
Mhm.
then I was like, nah, dude, I gotta reach out. I gotta talk to these guys. Maybe they actually want to play and stuff. And so I played
Okay.
Baron first. I remember, I played him,
Mhm.
and then finally I met Captain. He's like, hey, I have a friend of mine. He plays too, and he wants to play you. And it was like, and it was like, oh, is that the guy who's trying to play me? He's like, yeah, that's my friend. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry, bro. So that's what happened too. With other people, it happened too. So yeah, like
How'd you
I
make
have
sense?
I have no problem admitting my flaws, dude. Like I don't care because it's true. It's a fact. It
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
So how'd you make sense?
With Sins in the
Yeah.
chat, like
Yeah.
he popped up in the chat one day.
Yeah.
And I was just doing my regular streams, dude. And you know how sometimes people do come up to you and they'll say what's up, but then they never say anything again, kind of thing.
Uh huh.
Sins was one of
Yeah.
those guys that just, kept it going. You know what I mean? Like in the conversation, he just
Mm-hmm.
kept it going. So, because that honestly, that could have been another captain situation or another Baron situation, right? Where like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hey, what's up? Cool, move on next, But it's like, hey, because then he kept it going. I remember he said, hey, I found you from that Evo video. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, damn, dude. Hey, well, thanks, And so, and because that honestly, that always gets to me, dude. Like when people say that kind of stuff, like, hey, I saw you at Evo, like you maybe want to play games. Like to me, that's cool, Because I always felt like I'm a gateway to, because then people find their own community in the end, right? Everybody, kind of starts their own clique after that. Like I'm just the guy they'll talk to, like, to kind of get to know the community, and then they'll form,
Mm-hmm.
they pick and choose who they want to hang out with, and I'm cool with that, whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
but with Sins, it's like, yeah, it kept it going, and and he kept it coming, and everything. And so he was like, yeah, I saw it, Evil Man. And then he just started showing up on my streams every time. And so then after that, we just, you become friends because they become regulars.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So
Okay.
yeah, so if I don't talk to people, like I guess, like, whatever, like that is me, to me, it's maybe because, like, again, I'm either I get busy or whatever, or I just don't respond in time, and so that makes people think I'm ignoring them, which,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just there's a lot going on, right? It's hard to keep up. But
Okay.
when I see messages, I always try to respond. You experience this, dude. Sometimes
Yeah.
it took
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But now I try to do better to check my messages and stuff, because you never know
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
wants to
Yeah.
hit you up and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this also leads into the fun part of the last few questions. Well, because like this one, I had fun answering with Cito the first impressions questions about people.
First impressions of people.
Yep. So I'm gonna name. I'm just gonna list off like a bunch of names and like let's see like your first impressions of them on how you met them. Let's go with hmm. I know. Let's go with T Blaze first.
With T-Blaze.
Yep. Like, so what did you think about T Blaze when you first met him?
Oh, it's funny because, like, you can tell when someone's like kind of has like that Puerto Rican swag. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
Like
Uh
you can. I was like, yeah, this dude is some, because I didn't even have to like ask. You know, you can
huh.
just tell like right away, like from how he carries himself. Like
Hmm.
yeah, that's kind of like that. Like
Okay.
you like very 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 sure himself kind of thing. Like like I
Hmm.
know where I'm from, like know what I do, whatever kind of thing. Kind of gives that vibe.
Hmm.
Hey, that's cool. Everybody
Okay.
has their vibes, right? So yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Then how about Cito?
Cito. Um, the first when I met him at first, I thought he was shy, but he's not.
Uh
Right? Because like 'cause he used to be kind of be a little like soft spoken. Because
Yeah.
before we with the few times we talked like just directly,
Hmm.
and everything. So I initially thought he was just shy, but nah, man. Once you get the man going, he's going. But that was just my
Oh,
first
okay.
impression at first, though. Yeah, but I mean I'm totally wrong, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Then how about like your first impressions of Captain then?
With Captain,
Yeah.
I remember the first time I thought he was like really nerdy. Yeah, because he's like he's well spoken. You know what I mean? Like, but
Hmm.
once you get past that, like then he can talk his shit. You know what I mean? Like when he gets going. But at first, because
Hmm.
he's very he comes off as well spoken at first. Because he wants. I feel like he wants you just to make sure you take him seriously. You know what I mean? But at the same
Hmm.
time, once you get past that, like he can goof around, likes to have
Hmm.
joke around and stuff too. So he's
Hmm.
very like very calm. You know what I mean? Like very calm.
Hmm.
Very very friend oriented. Like
Hmm.
that's when he comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about TJ?
TJ. That dude is now that is a straight up nerd. He's all about like frame data and like all the specifics and everything, and like right away it's like, dude, and he can go on and on about it unless you put a stop to it. It's like, all right, bro, I can only take so much information. Relax, you know.
Okay. Well, then how about sins? I'm curious.
Since
Yeah.
with Sins,
Yeah.
he straight up comes out like what's funny, like a dad's jokes kind of guy, like right away, dad jokes kind of. But what's funny, dad jokes that hit though, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people can be cringy with those, but with Sins,
Mm-hmm.
like some of it hits, some of it doesn't, and but most of the time it does, and it's funny, like he's kind of that dad jokes kind of guy that was like very chill.
Mm-hmm. How about Cash?
Cash, with Cash, it's funny because like the first time, I don't honestly, like, I don't remember exactly, but um my first thought was like, I don't know, to me he came out like kind of like cautious because he's like soft spoken sometimes, like, hey
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bro, like, oh, like this or whatever, but nah, he's another guy that can get going too once you get him going, because I hear him on the streams with like T-Blaze and stuff,
Yeah.
and when it's something that does bring his interest, he pops up, and he
Mm-hmm.
literally pops up with his mic, like that's one thing I always
Mm-hmm.
remember about him. Every time he comes on, like, you hear the little pop noise and then he starts
Mm-hmm.
talking, you know
Yeah.
so but yeah, I feel like everybody has their own thing.
Yeah. 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 How about Blue?
Blue, um when you first talk to him, he sounds very serious. He's like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's that deep voice. So you don't know what to say, because what if what if you're gonna trigger him or something? I don't know what it is, but it's one of those things, that first impression. But then it's like, he's very chill. He's just that has that deep, soft spoken voice.
Okay. Well, last two. How about Buddha?
Buddha.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think, because when I hear him talk, like he like he just sounds like a very, like, how do you call it? It kind of reminds me of how I would sound if I'm like just saying like whatever, without like worrying about what other people say. Like, he just comes out, like, he just says his things, and he doesn't care what people think, but so he decides that's what he sounds like to me. Like,
Wait. Wait.
because he's got the
Yeah.
accent too. Like,
Yeah.
when I get going and I just let loose, my Latino accent just comes out like that. Like
Yeah.
like so he reminds me of me in that way.
Well, not like last one, but second to last one. Blind Boss. I'm curious now
With Blind Boss.
because yep, she might watch this later.
Oh,
So
dude, no, hey, yo, shout out to Blind Boss, dude. She comes out as funny, dude. Like, when,
uh-huh.
like, cause she giggles a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
she finds humor in a lot of things. So it's
Mhm.
just funny, like, when she's there, and when she had when you guys she used to have her, like, her streams and stuff. Most
Mhm.
of the time, it's her laughing at something.
Mhm.
So she kind of has that happy vibe, right? To me, like, she always had the happy vibe going on.
Mhm. Well, then last one. Then what did you think about me?
You dude, I honestly, I don't remember.
That's fine.
But
That's fine.
what's funny though, I thought that you like, and this is like, look, you can blow me up for this, dude, because this is
Go ahead. Go
stereotypical
ahead.
as hell too. Like, I
Go ahead.
thought you were a hardcore Street Fighter player. Like, that's what I thought you were, bro. Yeah, seriously, I'm telling. That's why I said this is stereotypical as hell, bro. I thought you were like a hard. I was like,
No.
man, I was like, dude, I bet
No.
this guy plays Street Fighter like badass. And then it's
Heck
like, nah,
no.
not really. Hey, I'm being straight up, dude. That's the first thing I thought. I remember that when I first heard you, it was like, oh,
I
dude, this
play like
guy.
ass, man.
Yeah, because I thought you're like, a piece of Street Fighter. Again, going off
Mm,
stereotypes, dude. We all do it. You know what I mean? So.
I know. I know. Hey. Trust me. Back then, high school, I did have the typical Asian spiky hair look. Okay. Okay. But yeah, not the parachute pants. The hair. Okay.
Yeah, just
Like,
you got the spike here. Go, oh, this guy.
hey,
Yeah.
I even dyed my hair like a golden blonde too. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, damn. Okay, damn. This dude really went all out with it. Yeah.
No, okay. Yeah. Well, then this is gonna probably the maybe a hard ish question, but always a fun one. So this will be the last one. If anyone else in the chat has any other questions for Rattle, okay. if you had a chance to throw a pie at someone in the blind FGC, who would it be and what kind of pie would it be? And they would have to stand there and take it, okay? Just take your time, you don't need to rush,
Throw a pie at, and what kind of pie?
Yep.
I don't know, dude. Like, if I threw a pie, I feel like they're gonna go back and punch the shit out of me again. So, and anybody
Nope,
could do
nope,
that.
nope, nope. Nope. They would have to
That's
stand
literally
there
the first
and
thing I'm thinking about.
nope, they have to
Because
stand there and take it,
I've
take
thrown
it,
food
and
at
no
people literally, and I
retaliations
got my
too.
ass kicked for it. So I'm just saying, I literally done it
Nope,
before,
nope.
bro.
Okay, but no, like the rules is, hey, yeah, you have to stand there and take it, and no retaliations.
That's rough, man.
Yeah, this is why it's a hard question. So, and let me check the chat while you're thinking about.
Damn. Oh man, you know what's funny? I have several, and I'm trying to come up with the reasons why. Because um,
Hmm. Okay.
oh, I think I know who actually,
Okay.
and he's probably gonna blow me up for it too. But that's the whole point. So
Uh huh.
I would actually throw it at Sins, and let me tell you why. Because he's the
Okay.
kind of guy that can take a joke actually. Like, if
Uh huh.
you're just messing around, right? Like, he
Mhm.
won't take it personal.
Mhm.
He can actually take a joke. Because he'll clap back, obviously, right? But in the
Mhm.
end, it's gonna be just a joke.
Okay.
Because
Sense.
I blow him up a lot, and he blows me up a lot. But we know that it's not offensive, it's not personal. We know how to
Mhm.
separate, you know just dumb jokes, and then when it gets
Mhm.
real, we get real, you know what I mean? So so
Okay.
he's really gonna get pissed. I mean, he's gonna throw
Okay.
me.
Okay. Okay. Sense. So okay. But what kind of pie? What kind of pie? What kind?
Hmm.
There's many pies. Okay. So
Let's go with it. Let's go with the cherry pie.
a cherry pie. Wow. Okay. Wait. Baked or just like from the refrigerator?
No, no, no. It has to be baked, bro. You gotta put the effort. You gotta put the effort.
Whipped cream too.
Huh?
Whipped cream too.
Whipped cream. It could, maybe without it. They
Ice
want to
cream.
wait. It's already messy enough.
Oh, Sin says he would parry your pie.
There we go. See, I tell.
Yep, pie.
Oh
Well,
my god!
no one
What
has
are these questions, man, bro?
what?
That's fun. Oh my god.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey! I could have asked you for. Wait, maybe I can. Ooh, a quick bonus question then.
Oh crap. Okay.
Sorry, but
Not like this. I'm getting mixed. Like we were saying, the fighting game scene. I was not ready for this.
this might ruffle some feathers. But hey, it's a question, and it's your own based on your own opinions. Okay, so yeah, who would you think in the blind FGC scene is, let's just say, within, let's, I'm gonna change that a little bit. Let's go for top six. There you go. Instead of top five, top six.
Top six.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
So if I was to make a tier list, I'm doing it based on a few things.
Hmm.
Based on placement, right? So I'm
Hmm.
gonna establish my
Hmm.
answer based on
Hmm.
placement, based on the knowledge of what they're doing with the game. Because
Hmm.
anybody can do combos, anybody can do like these things, but how are you applying them is
Yep.
where it's different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing my tier list based on that.
Hmm.
Also, um, yeah. So okay, so placement. Oh, and also tech, right? Like
Hmm.
it's same thing, because it's different too. Like, no, being a tech monster, but then sometimes that tech monster may not do good in tournament, right? So that's another
Hmm.
thing. It even happened at the highest level, like, MK9, there was this guy who did all of the Cyrus tech from back in
Mm-hmm.
MK9, and he would never
Mm-hmm.
make it the top 16 because it's like, just because you know
Dang.
all the tech and combos doesn't mean like, because it's a whole different, So
Yeah, it's
let me
like
ask you this though. Here's the kind of question: does it have to be in a particular order?
no. It's it.
Ah,
It's your own personal order.
okay. Now, okay. So here we go. And does it matter the game though? Because my tier list is
No,
based
no.
on multiple games. Okay.
Yeah, multiple games. Multiple games.
Okay. Yeah, because just because someone is good at one game doesn't mean they're good at the other. I'm just saying.
No,
Um,
because
yeah,
I could have said MK1, but then there isn't really a much pool of MK1 players for the
no,
way
it's
it
not.
is,
Yeah, you have mostly
yeah,
mostly comes out from MK11. Because for
yeah,
me, my bias would go immediately to MKX, and there's only like 3 of us in MKX, flat out. There's
yeah,
nobody else in
yeah,
MKX. It's literally
yeah,
just me, Captain, and Baron. That's it.
yeah.
Um, let's see. All right, here we go. So, I mean, I'll still include it because I did see how some people did adapt to MKX though, right? Because that's the thing about
Mhm.
the last, the Con of the Hill last year, is
Yeah.
you wanted to see how people adapted to another game as well. Especially
Yeah.
coming from like if your first game is MK11, right? How would you adapt to
Mhm.
another game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine was 9 though, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mine was 9 too. Yeah. Um. So okay. So I would say top 6.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get right now. It's gonna be like if I was to put it in like specific order, you gotta put Captain first.
Mhm.
Like that's easy.
Mhm.
Top one. Um. I will also put. Let's see. Baron is on my list, and let me explain why. Because he's pretty decent at multiple fighting games, not just one game, and that takes
Mhm.
skill to do that.
Mhm.
You could be good at one game, but once you get in another game, it's like it doesn't translate. So, but
Mhm.
Baron, um, he's one of the reasons why I was able to pick up King of Fighters. That's a hard game to play, dude. Like, that game
It
is
is. It
hard.
is. It is.
It's really hard,
It
but he's
is.
good at it. He's pretty
Yeah.
good at it. Like
Yeah.
he's good at it
Yeah.
because you see him play like Grand Blue, all that stuff. So right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I also have I have TJ because he's a good
Mhm.
lab monster. Like he can actually find tech. Um,
Mhm.
Again, the only one that I put number one. The rest of them are not in order. It's just Captain because he just goes by default as number one. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody can dispute that.
No.
And but TJ because he's the tech monster. He can literally, find stuff and explain. Like he can memorize the frame data, which honestly is kind of hard, dude.
Yeah.
People want to talk about frame data, but when you go back to the and everything, sometimes it's like it's wrong. But with TJ, it's most of the time it's right. You look at it, oh shit, damn, like he's got it right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. Then let's see another one. I'm trying to think. I would also put Cash in there.
Oh.
Yeah, Cash in there. Yeah, dude, I'm going. Because
Mhm.
he came in, he made his name on doing MK11, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
he was one of those players too that was adapting more to MKX a little bit. I feel like if he had more time, or if I don't know how seriously he took it either. I don't want to assume anything.
Mhm.
But if we had more time, or if maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know how serious he took it, but I think he probably would have gotten good at MKX too.
Mhm.
Because he's the type of player that once he gets going, like look how he plays Smoke right now, very rush
I
down,
know.
very
Yeah.
rush down.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
literally MKX. Once you learn like all the like really high executional combos and stuff, all the cancels
Mhm.
and everything, and MKX was all about cancels.
Mhm.
If you get those down, I think so I will put him in there. So that's 4,
Okay.
right? That's 4.
Yeah. It's fine.
Let's see. Let me go down. Oh, let's not forget Blurrycito, man. Blurrycito's in there too,
Mhm.
bro. Blurrycito's in there too. He had the
Mhm.
best Johnny in MK11, like hands down, the best Johnny.
Mhm.
If you look at his gameplay, his spacing is ridiculous. Like
It is.
and because he and that's good that he has like I don't know if he still has it now or not. I don't want to assume either, but I know.
Oh, he does.
Well,
It was like
yeah, right. He has some.
I played
some
him like on
custom.
Friday too. So yeah.
Yeah, but also like, well, from what I know, right? And if
Mhm.
they can blow him up, blow me up if I'm incorrect on that. But
Mhm.
if you can see a little bit, like use it to your advantage, dude. Why not? So
Yeah.
I think he kind of does a little bit. So so maybe that also contributes to how good his spacing is, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, because like he had that's how was Johnny used to get a lot of people all the time, is because
Mhm.
he did play very like in your face, but when it was time to back away and whiff punish you, he would do that
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
badass. Um, you know, so he would do that.
Mhm.
Let's see, and of course, I will put a blind sight again because he also made top 8 at the Central Showdown,
Mhm.
and he also is a combo like he actually makes combos as well, like doesn't just copy everybody's stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and he can play when he gets going. I think the only thing that can get to him, but which I understand because it happens to me sometimes, is the nerves. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But the nerves can get to anybody, so I can't discount that from anybody. Um,
Mhm.
you know, so yeah, I would have him in there too. Because he's even taught me some combos that I'm like, wait, how do you do that? I have to go to him to
Mhm.
figure out some of the stuff too. So you know that's so yeah, those are my top six.
Wow. Hey. Well,
Hey, with
hope you guys.
explanations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this interview because I know surely I did. Because like I know I said it was like an hour or an hour and a half, but this was a really good conversation though. Because like so I couldn't really stop because like
Hey, thanks, man.
it. Hey, no worries. Because like if you guys know me, hey, I like listening to a conversation, and this one went really good. So, would you have any last shameless plugs? Whatever you got,
Hmm.
plug it.
So, well, shout outs to everybody in the chat who has always been around. Even if you say what's up, that's cool. Like, but for those who don't know, I guess I go by KH Rattlehead, which is the yeah, K is for combat and Houston, H for Houston, combat Houston. It's just paying homage to the team that I was in back in the day. Um, they basically got me to where I am now as far as competitiveness and all that. So anyway, but yeah, on YouTube it's just KH Rattlehead, youtube.com/KH Rattlehead. You can find me on Twitter at KH Rattlehead as well. And on Twitch is KH underscore Rattlehead, because I don't know who else took that name, but it's been taken already. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. Most of the time, I stream like on Mondays and Wednesdays, Mortal Kombat. Every now and then, I try to mix it up with some Street Fighter 6. And
Bison,
yeah,
bison.
I know I need to bring the Bison. Some people expecting my Bison now. And
Mm-hmm.
I play every now and then. Of course, we gotta get spotlight to like The Last of Us sometimes, or just other games, or just just chill. And I'm a very like laid back kind of streamer. So if
Mm-hmm.
that's not your thing, then I understand, because a lot of people just want to see hype yelling at the mic or talking crap to players and stuff. And I'm not here for that. Like I already do a lot of um you know mental fighting and stuff at work already, from complaining clients and all that stuff. So I don't want to come back to that stuff anymore. I'm tired. I just want to chill.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very chill streamer. I just like to hang out, play games with you guys, and just have fun, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And so that's what I do. And of course, my band. Check out my band, the Startica. If people do may enjoy different genres of music and happen to like metal, check out my band. We have 2 records out. We just released our record last year. It's about to be our first year anniversary of our second record, the Startica. We do have an official website, which is accessible, by the way, thestartica.com. You can check it out. We do have merch and everything. Um, and we're on every streaming platform. Our band is, you can find it everywhere. And whatever streaming platform you can think of, we're there. So we make sure we're our music it's heard all over the place. So yeah, that is it for me. And Toes, thank you so much for the time, brother. I appreciate it, man, for giving me the spot. I know you've gotten a lot of people already in here. You got some
Mm-hmm.
good interviews too, man. Some really, a lot of people. It's cool to learn from people. Even again, if you don't like talk to them as often, but still, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's all about. Getting to know people, where they come from. Understanding why they are where they are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but thanks, man. And chat. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun talking to this guy. He always stops on my streams. That's what's up. Make sure my
Yeah,
hair looks good. So you
of
gotta do all that.
course.
Yeah, gotta make sure. You
I'm
gotta
probably the only blind person that look like that says all hair, man. Like that looks out for hair.
like fix yourself up, man. You gotta look good for the stream. So
Yeah.
yeah. But not thanks, man. I really appreciate it, bro. And happy
No,
to
man.
talk
Like you're
about
welcome. No, I like it. Thanks again. Like yeah. Did it take a while for me to schedule? Yes, it did. Because like again, we both had like other stuff like before the interview, anyways. But like I'm glad I just took the time. Like to actually
Yeah,
you know to actually finally got you on because hey
yeah, for
like it,
sure. No, and I appreciate the accommodation, dude, because I know you start like at 7, so for being able to be flexible like that. So that's cool. So yeah, but that's
for
it.
me it's like for me like flexibility is I learned that is a good thing because if I need a guest like you, sure, I'll, I'll do it this time. Cool. Or like someone else, they need this time and this day. Cool. I'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what's up, man.
because it's
That's
worth it.
cool.
Yeah.
No, hey, no, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man.
So
Yeah. So yeah,
okay, okay, no worries. But hey, if you like my content, please give me a like and subscribe on YouTube at Blind Toes. Okay. And it's much appreciated too. Yeah, just hit that like button and subscribe button too. Yeah. So, hey, hope you guys enjoyed these interviews, and there will be more down the line too. So, hey, I know it's late, but hey, you guys will probably watch this later. E- Everyone in the chat, thank you for coming in and hey, and listening and hey, and chatting. Hey, it's much appreciated. So, hey, it's late. I'm tired, and I'm probably gonna go sleep after. So, bye.